Introducing a new podcast. Karen Hunter is awesome.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. So check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.
Karen Hunter is awesome. A new podcast from Karen Hunter.
Let's go to Deborah in Ohio. Thank you for holding.
Hi, Karen. How are you? I listen to your show every day. Every day.
I appreciate that. I thank you.
You're welcome. I wanted to just share some DEI information about Target. I don't know if everybody knows, and I wanted viewers to know about this. I was listening to Pastor Jamal Bryant, and he is doing a Target fast at targetfast.org. Are you familiar with that?
I'm familiar with all of the different boycotts.
Yeah. I didn't know if your audience knew about that, but it's going to be March the 5th. I've already signed up. Once you sign up, they have a Black-owned buying guide, and it's for the whole nation of United States, and it has all different stores that you can buy Black-owned products from. And I just wanted to pass that on. What he's trying to do is get 100,000 people to sign up for a 40-day fast starting March the 5th for their DEI. They took back their DEI regulation. So I just wanted to pass that on.
I appreciate it. I hesitated to jump aboard the myriad Target boycotts. Personally, I don't shop there. Personally, I will not shop there. But I'm sitting with the power of that kind of boycott, and whether or not it will have the kind of impact that we want to have. I would prefer for all of us to pull all of our money out of like Wells Fargo. Like that, I think would send a message, because the banks, the banks are the problem. They're the source. When Occupy Wall Street, all those many years ago, I remember having this conversation with my students. I'm like, you're out here with the human mic and occupying the streets. Sit yourself in front of, one of these banks and take a bank and make it impossible for them to do business every day. I'm not saying that people should do that. I'm saying that if y'all are going to be young and disruptive, that was send a message. And I say Wells Fargo because they are the most egregious in the subprime lending debacle that really destroyed a lot of Black wealth. And they targeted us. They specifically targeted us. And there's memorandums about them targeting Black people. And now they're doing a deal with, TD Jakes and others. And they think they can just, throw $1 billion at a mega pastor and it's all going to be forgiven, but it shouldn't be. Right. So, Target is making a decision in a very oppressive world for corporations that don't get in line. You don't know what is coming down the pike. Target has historically not been anti-us. This is a lot of companies are bending the knee. And, if you're going to boycott them, boycott everybody, because everybody is quietly bending the knee, except for it seems like Delta and Costco. It's like, so I feel like strategically do it. Everybody should probably do it because it won't hurt. But I'm, thinking about what's the impact, and maybe it will have a great impact, and maybe I'll be a bandwagon jumper. I don't know. I'm not averse to it. I've just been like,
What concerns me a little bit when it comes to, and I know I'm kind of opening up a can of worms here. What it concerns me of like I just went on to the targetfast.org, and I think about the men and women who have worked for Target for an elongated amount of time, the people of color who are managers, are GMs, that have been with the company for a decade or two, who have kind of walked through some struggles and feel abandoned by a company that they've been dedicated to for so many years. I wonder how that affects them on an actual tangible level. Like, these folks still have to go to work. That's where they're collecting their paychecks. Do they leave their business, leave that history and try to go to some other place that hasn't, has also bent the knee. Like, what do we
To
do
your
on
point,
a tangible level?
Target's workforce is predominantly Black, Hispanic, and Asian. It's 43% white. I'm on their website. 57% of its 56% total, 57% of non-managers. But here's where it gets tricky. Only 47% of their managers are people who are Black, Hispanic, and Asian. 53% of the managers are white. But that's still better than the average corporate America. I'm just saying, where it's like 70% and it's 47% women. Because
And
DEI
I've been a Target shopper. I'll happily admit to it. They did a lot of things where they were doing some pretty special things with DE&I for a certain period of time that were just different. That I found myself going, this is kind of the fact that y'all are going this far, and then to pull back.
Right.
I feel like somebody is sitting somewhere going, we can't do this.
But on that note, boycotts, they work. If you want to do it, fine. I have no alignment to Target. I don't shop there. I don't care.
Sure.
Personally, it's easy for me to boycott. But at the end of the day, what's going to be the greatest impact? And I guess numbers matter, because I forgot what company reversed after people threatened. I can't remember. I saw that. I was like, oh, so, when we show up, it does matter. So I thank you for calling. And those of you who want to join the boycott, you can go to, targetfast.org. But again, can I say this? I'm going to say it. This prosperity preaching, it's almost oxymoronic to step from a prosperity preaching position into this space, but I'm gonna say less about that as well, because that those are your choices that you make in terms of who leads you spiritually. But I'm gonna move on. But thank you for calling, Deborah. I appreciate it.
Let me talk about Clifton for a minute. I think Clifton's on to something about get rid of your Teslas.
That's easy for me too.
Yeah, I'm saying it's easy for me too. But I'm curious if he's on to something with that. Now, granted, he's a multi-billionaire, so I don't like
on paper.
But still, there are very few things that he feels. Meaning,
Correct.
Financially, there are very few things that he goes, "Oh, that affects me."
But that Tesla turns into a DeLorean or a Yugo because they're piling up and people aren't buying it. It's already that damn Cybertruck can't get through a snowstorm. It's cheap.
Right. I agree. That's what I'm saying.
It's if no one's buying it because you're horrible, and the stock, he's got stockholders, he's got shareholders that he has to answer to. His whole future can shift because he's a paper near trillionaire. That on paper can reverse really quickly if we make a conscious decision, a conscious effort. I was also, vacillating between, divesting from certain companies or doubling down so I can be, collectively we can be more impactful as shareholders and make them do what they, because that's where the power is. They are capitulating to shareholders. Costco shareholders were like, no, we're doing DEI. The shareholders of Costco was like, we're with you. That's important.
Yeah.
Speaks to who's holding the stocks of Costco. So maybe we need to hire, own stock of companies to have an impact. But I have to really think about that. And that has to be one of those. Maybe, Jamal Bryant could do that in addition to the stuff that he's doing.
Introducing a new podcast. Karen Hunter is awesome.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. So check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.
Karen Hunter is awesome. A new podcast from Karen Hunter.